Hello everybody, I'm reporting to you yet again from paradise in South India, and I keep saying I think I found the Garden of Eden, and I keep thinking I did. And somebody said I was in Botswana. I'm gonna need to see some proof, because have you been here? Have you seen this? Anyway, okay, so we need to talk about Bam Margera. I interrupt my spiritual enlightenment journey in the Garden of Eden to talk about Bam Margera. Yes, I did. So he actually is looking and sounding great. He went on a podcast recently, and it's called, let me get it up, because shout out to these guys, X5 Podcast, Pop Culture. And just watching this thing for like 10 minutes, I feel like at least two, possibly all four of these guys is my cousins. Okay, the accents, everything, like the way they are. And shout out to them, because I have gotten so used to people just lying on my name on the internet and on TV and on hit piece documentaries that I just expect that anybody that's putting Bam on, or that is allowed to put Bam on, is gonna be talking lies on my name. They did not. They did not. Actually, somebody tried to talk a lie on my name from off screen, which we will get into, and they corrected it. So shout out to them. I might be checking out more of their channel. Let me click the subscribe. Ting. Okay. So Bam Margera has talked about the Free Bam movement. Yes, he has. He has talked about me. He has mentioned the hit piece documentary, his confusion about it. So let me just play a little bit of that right now.
And you know, that was right when I met Lima. I'm like, is that helmet, or are you putting oleander in my tea or some shit? Yeah. Are you somehow benefiting off of the death of Bam? Because like, I was his guardian and we tried. Now my name is out there. Yeah, well, you changed your name 6 times, you shady fuck.
Well, speaking of Lima, we were talking about this a minute ago, that documentary. It's about her. What did you think about that? That Curious Case of Bam?
Well, the curious case of me not knowing the fuck it was. But it should have been called The Curious Case of Lima, because they barely showed me in it. But I'm very happy, because I did not know what to expect. I mean, there was footage of me, body cam footage of 20 laser beam SWAT team machine gun saying drop everything at the hotel and put me in a mental institution. I thought that could have been on there. So I didn't know what to expect. And now when I realized it's the battle between BJ Investigates, who started the Free Bam movement, versus Lima, and her finding out all Lima's shady doings, I'm so happy that it got exposed, because I would give Instagram posts all the time and be like, FBI, take a look at fucking Lima, because she faked an autopsy report claim.
So I'm gonna be reading from the transcript here, because it's hard to I don't have all my technology and stuff, so it's hard to play and pause and all that. So it starts around the 1 hour, 8 minute mark, and Bam is talking about his struggles with substances, his struggles with, specifically, I think, COKE type of thing, addiction. And he was saying, it got so bad that he would need to get off of a plane and have it immediately. And he was admitting, that he definitely was struggling with that. He then gets into talking about having seizures. And he said and he said this on my podcast too, he never had a seizure in his life. Never had a seizure in his life, according to him, until he met Lima. So what's he say? The shaman took him to the hospital. He woke up 8 days later on life support with a tube down his throat. The nurse was crying because she didn't think he was gonna make it. And he's like, that's right around the time when I had actually met Lima, which I don't know if Bam just can't be bothered with time, but I think he had already known Lima for at least a year at that point. But the point remains, they were reporting, there was actually news articles that said that Bam Margera was pronounced dead. People were saying RIP Bam Margera, it was touch and go. And I did make videos on that if y'all wanna check out my Bam Margera playlist. But he says, it was right when I met Lima. He's like, is this that helmet, the virtual reality aura helmet? He's like, is this that? Are you putting oleander in my tea, which is a known poison? Are you somehow gonna benefit off of my death? He started to wonder these things. And he was speculating okay, well, if something would have happened to him, was Lima just gonna be like, oh, well, we tried to help him, oh, well, and now my name is out there?
Are you somehow benefiting off of the death of Bam? Because I was his guardian and we tried. Now my name is out there. Yeah, well, you changed your name 6 times, you shady fuck.
And Bam's so funny. He's like, your name's out there, you got 6 different names, girl. Why you got 6 different names? But that was funny, good point. So then the podcast hosts ask him, what did you think about the documentary, The Curious Case of Bam Margera? The title of the documentary was. He said, it should have been called The Curious Case of Lima.
Well, speaking of Lima, we were talking about this a minute ago, that documentary. It's about her. What did you think about that Curious Case of Bam?
Well, the curious case of me not knowing the fuck it was. Because, but it should have been called the curious case of Lima because they barely showed me in it. But
He said, I don't know what it had to do with me. He said they barely showed me in it, but I'm very happy because I didn't know what to expect. I mean, there was footage of me, a body cam footage, 20 laser beam SWAT team machine and drop everything at the hotel, which I never saw that footage. I don't know if it exists or if they just didn't give me that part because as y'all know, if you've followed my channel for a while, when I requested the body camera footage, they did send me the hotel footage, but not of inside the hotel room. So maybe that is where that happened, but I don't know. I never saw that on the body cam footage, but he's like, there's that body camera footage exists. And I'm glad they didn't put the worst of the worst on there. He said, they put me in a mental institution. I thought that could have been on there. So I'm glad at least they didn't do that. He said, but then I realized it's not curious case of me. It's the battle between BJ Investigates, who started the Free BAM movement, versus Lima.
And now when I realized it's the battle between BJ Investigates, who started the Free BAM movement, versus Lima, and her finding out all Lima's shady doings, I'm so happy that it got exposed because I would give Instagram posts all the time and be like, FBI, take a look at Lima because she faked an autopsy report claiming.
And her finding out all the shady things Lima was doing. So I'm happy it got exposed. Thank you, Bam. Ting. He said, I was trying to tell the FBI. Autopsy report. Okay, Bam. Bam like consistently gets the details wrong on the Amanda Rabb thing. He gets it mixed up. He keeps saying she died from a seizure disorder, which is understandable because that is what Lima said. Lima said Amanda died from a seizure disorder. She actually, in fact, said that the cause of death was marked as a seizure disorder. It was not, but clearly people have been confused by that lie, even Bam. So Amanda Rabb's cause of death was marked as cardiac arrhythmia, not a seizure disorder, but Bam was just pointing out the inconsistency in the autopsy report and what Lima actually said. And then, I mean, also, you could also be more confused because we had Beth Karras running PR, it seemed like to me, for Lima, saying, I don't know what Lima was reading off of. I don't know what it could have been. Well, you need a freaking brain scan, girlfriend, because it's very clear they tried to make all of us, including you, think she was reading off the autopsy report. She was not. The title of the video should have said, reading an email that's not the autopsy report, then Beth. Then you got Beth Karras, not a doctor, trying to reverse engineer and do all this ironically, doing all this speculation running PR for Lima, jumping through hoop after hoop, not a doctor, saying, well, she was on gabapentin, and gabapentin is a seizure disorder medicine, so maybe it had something to do with a seizure. Baby girl, baby grandma, baby mama, no ma'am. You're not a doctor and you need to keep those opinions to yourself. You're on national TV. Anyway, back to this, much more interesting than that. But basically Bam's like, whatever, like it wasn't the curious case of me by any means, but I'm glad it's at least on investigation discovery because maybe something will get done about it because I've been trying to tell the FBI.
But FBI would just take it in one ear and out the other. So now that this is on investigative discovery, yay, they finally might start looking into it.
Imagine somebody takes your rights away against your will, according to Bam. Locked in rehabs against his will, couldn't leave. When he would escape, he would be tracked down with a GPS. You're trying to tell the FBI. And they're just like, oh, he's just a kid. Because of the PR that people have run. Because of the media manipulation. It's just really, truly terrifying. It's open air prison. It's hell. And I'm never going to stop talking about it. Y'all can run 5 more hit pieces. I hope you don't, because eventually somebody's getting sued. But anyway, so then the podcast hosts ask him, can you talk about the virtual reality therapy, Aurora or whatever? And Bam was like, I have no idea. Again, he mentions the kitty cat in one eye and then in the other eye, it was a T-Rex. And he's like, it just doesn't make sense. The hosts are like, well, can you talk about it a little? What's it supposed to do? Bam's like, I don't know.
That you were talking about the virtual therapy, or the Aurora or whatever it is. Man, how was that?
It didn't make sense at all to me.
Yeah.
Like with the T-Rex coming at me trying to eat me and then the kitty cat licking milk, you're like, what the f***? I'm going to go over there. You're on the right track. No shit, I'm on the right track. Why would I want to go that way?
Well, explain. Can you explain? Well, can you explain what the software, the virtual reality is? What is it supposed to do?
Don't know. But I can tell you.
I think what it's supposed to do is track data, gather data, because they're just collecting data to try and make this technology work. But I have no idea. Just like, Bam, I don't know. Can you explain it? He's like, no, I can't. So he's talking about like how much he likes to watch little squirrels eat, which is so cute, and I agree. He said, I started having seizures left and right, so Clockwork Orange.
as soon as I met Lima, I started having seizures left and right.
So how happy?
Clockwork Orange. Yeah.
Somebody said, how happy were you whenever BJ Investigates decided to start the Free Bam movement? Bam said, I didn't know.
Well, how happy were you when BJ Investigates decided to start the Free Bam movement?
I don't know, because I wasn't allowed to look at it. You don't get internet and treatment. And Lima always said, there's this Free Bam movement thing. Do not look at it. Don't even get tempted. I'm like, what? I guess I won't. So finally, when I got out, I just randomly scrolled across a minute's worth of her. I'm like, that makes perfect sense. Then I watched the whole thing. I'm like, yes.
Lima kept telling me not to look at it. Remember when I was making videos about this like back in 2022, and I was like, someone's telling him not to look at these videos. Someone's poisoning him against me without him even knowing who I am. They were sending him on Steve-O, the Failed Clowns podcast. They were lying on my name over there. They were lying on my name in Adam Grand Mason 22. And look how history has turned out for them in the last 2 years. It's not looking good. And I tried to tell them, keep my name out your mouth. Ask Steve-O how it all turned out when he tried to use my name for clout. Keep on going, give him something you could talk about. Anyway, this is how it's worked out for them. And I promise you, bet money on it. Go to Las Vegas and put money in the casino. Anybody who uses their platform to lie on my name will suffer a similar consequence, and it won't even be because of me. It'll be because of the Lord. But anyway, so Bam's like, I wasn't allowed to look at it. I had no internet in rehab, no phone in rehab, and Lima said, don't even look at it. Don't even get tempted. I'm like, what? I guess, okay, fine, I won't. And he said, finally, I randomly scrolled across like a minute's worth of her. And I'm like, wait, that actually makes perfect sense. Then I watched the whole thing. I'm like, yes, she bought every body cam footage, every 911 call, and I did. I had to pay money for these things. I have lost hundreds of thousands of dollars covering this story because of the lawsuit. If I would have just never covered Free Bam, never covered Amanda, I would have been way, way better off financially. Way better off financially. I've lost substantial, like 2 law degrees worth of money. This has never been to make money, never been to make money. It's to do the right thing because I'm not in support of slavery and I'm not in support of liars. That's why. So Bam's like, I even asked her, why are you doing these? Trying to clock bank? She's like, no, I just want to get to the bottom of it.
She has bought every body cam footage, every 911 call made of me or for me or to me or whatever, and got to the bottom of it. Yeah. And I asked her, why? Are you trying to clock bank? She's like, no, I just want to get to the bottom of it.
She's a lawyer.
Yeah.
So she knows how to do the investigation stuff.
Yeah. Well, she went to law school, so she knows the drill.
Yeah.
She's a lawyer. So one of the guys is like, she's a lawyer. Bam's like, yeah, she's a lawyer. She knows how to do this investigation stuff. And Bam's like, well, yeah, she went to law school, so she knows the drill. And then somebody off camera, I don't know who it could be. Somebody wrong off camera is like, she's not a lawyer. The whole crew on set, the whole on-camera crew plus Bam were like, yes, she is.
Yeah, well, she went to law school, so she knows the drill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, she's not? I thought she was a lawyer.
No, she is. She just doesn't practice.
She says in the documentary that she took the New Jersey bar.
She did.
Yeah.
So you know what? It almost brought a tear to my eye. I am so used to being defamed, attacked, harassed, and truly lied about that it was like, I felt like I woke up in a new reality. That there was not 1, not 2, but 3, 4, 5 grown men. Usually the people that looks like that's running PR, is lying on my name. She's a failed lawyer. That's what Krusty Lynn Margera said. That's what Steve-O the Failed Clowns. I'm not a failed lawyer, okay? I'm not gonna get into my resume, but just let it be known, I made in the top 96 or 7% on the LSAT. I went to a top 5 law school in the world, graduated from that law school, not even at the bottom of the class, and passed the bar on my first try in a pandemic, unprecedented way that they administered the test, and hired as a lawyer, practiced as a lawyer. The reason I left being a lawyer is because they wanted me to hide the truth. I found out very early in my career, Britney Spears' business manager hired that law firm to try to silence me. So I guess, Steve-O and Krusty Lynn Margera, if being a lawyer requires that you lie and conceal the truth, I did fail, I guess. But I guess that's better than going to circus school and not being able to get a job at that circus where I went to the circus school. Anyway, whoever was off camera talking about she's not a lawyer is mistaken. I'm not a practicing attorney, which thank you, one of these guys did. One of my new cousins that I just found out about did say thank you. Anyway, yes, thank y'all. Really, truly, I appreciate it. I'm so used to people lying on my name. Yes, I did pass the New Jersey bar, and someone's like, she does well. She's a very popular YouTuber. I do think that people think like YouTubers make a little more money than we do. Like, I don't really have sponsors, you know, and any money I make on YouTube is just straight up from ads. And in my new channel, my new travel channel, one of my videos got age restricted just immediately, but then I appealed it and it got age restricted. But I strongly believe it's because it got mass reported, which is incidentally one of the services that it appears Jed Wallace can do. I'll get more into that later. Actually, the next video I'm going to be recording is my new feelings on Blake Lively. I have some updates. But yeah, and then the other guy's like, very ironically, he's like, I'm just a simple country boy. I don't know anything about these highfalutin podcasts. I'm like, sir, you're hosting a podcast with 160,000 subscribers. You might know a thing or two with your fancy mic. But I do see what they're saying. He was kind of just saying like, I never heard of that person or whatever, which is fine. And then one of them like, oh my God, I love these guys. Y'all go subscribe over there. One of them's like, she has a pretty good podcast. I'm like, again, I'm so used to these like Destin Dern types, you know, like if they say anything at all, lying on my name and defaming me and trying to make me look bad. And it's like, you know what? I think it's really withstood the test of time what I did. You can't defame me and lie on my name no more, because it's pretty obvious that what I was saying was right. It's pretty obvious that Bam agreed with what I was saying, and it's pretty freaking obvious that Bam is doing a lot better. He's claiming he doesn't do any more of the illicit substances. I don't know. I mean, I'm not holding his hand. I'm not running drug tests on him. But importantly, he did say on the same podcast, finally, the thing that made him wake up. It wasn't going to the first, the second, the third, the fourth, the 10th rehab against his will. It wasn't that. It was exactly what I always said. If someone is disturbing the peace to an extent that they are committing a crime, you should put them in handcuffs in the back of a police car and bring them to jail. If someone is committing a crime, they should go to jail. That's what I said. Bam went to jail. He went to solitary confinement for, I think he said 8 days or 10 days. He said that's all he needed. He never wants to go back there again. He said being alone in a room, people were slipping him a little piece of caramel candy and it was like the happiest day of his life. That's what it takes. Do I think that I want people to go through that? No, it sounds horrible. Do I want to go through that? Honestly, I might sign up for something like that. I was thinking about doing like a 10-day dark room retreat where you can't even see light for 10 days. So I might, you know, I put myself through these, you know what, experiments by myself. But that's my choice. Bam Margera made a choice to break his parole, to violate his parole. And guess what happens when you do that? You go to jail. Up until then, Bam had never had to truly suffer the consequences as everyone else does of his actions. And now that he has, he'll tell you he don't want to go back. That's what always should have happened. And you know what? I love Bam Margera and all of that, but if he's committing crimes and he is causing a ruckus out in civilization and civilized society, then that is how he should be dealt with. I do not think that he should be stripped of all of his rights and locked away indefinitely in a Florida rehab by Stephen B. Timmer and Lima Mora Takwali Yevremovich. So it just looks like I've been right about everything across the board, and it'll continue to happen. That's all I really have for right now. In the meantime, facts ain't defamation. Love you, mean it. Okay, bye.